Hey there, one of the most common questions that I get asked is, can numerology predict your future? Well, there's all kinds of areas in your numerology chart that are simple to decode, are simple to look at, and to give us a little bit of a heads up as to what might be coming up down the road from us. So today I want to talk to you a little bit about where you can look for those answers. So numerology can predict themes in your life, okay? So these can come from long-term cycles, they can come from life path periods, they can come from looking at personal years, personal days, personal months. There's all kinds of information that show up in your numerology chart that can help you with that. We look at a clear understanding of your personal year can really help to determine the theme for your personal year. So for example, every January, we come into a new personal year. The universe comes into a new universal year, okay? So we are always under the umbrella of whatever the universe is. So for example, in this year that I'm videoing this, 2025, when we add 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 5, that adds to 9. So that means that the entire universe, everybody, is under this umbrella, under this influence, if you will, of the 9 energy, which says wrap things up. It's about completions and endings and releasing and letting go and looking towards humanity more so than looking towards yourself. All kinds of good stuff in there. But your personal year is likely going to be different than the universal year. Some of you will travel the universal year and personal year the same, but more commonly, you'll be in a different personal year than what the universal year is. So your personal year begins January 1st, and you get a full cup of that energy. And so for every day that goes by, you're going to get an influence of that year. So for example, I happen to be in a personal year of 1 in 2025. So I know that in January, I got a full cup of 1, brings in lots of ambition, lots of eagerness, lots of willingness to plant new seeds and get things going. So for every day that goes by, I've got that full cup of 1 energy kind of spilling out over my calendar and over my experience. But I'm also under the umbrella influence of that 9 that says, it's still got some stuff you need to release and let go of before you can really step into those new beginnings. Okay, so that gives us kind of an idea how to manage the energy of any given year. Now, your personal month can also help to determine the theme, right? So if you happen to be in a personal month of 4, you know that the personal month of 4 is going to help you to stay very focused and detail oriented. So this would be a great month if you had a project that you had to complete, or you had to be very detailed around it. Okay, it's very work related, very task oriented, if you will. The essence from your birth name is a huge influence as well. Now, this is something that many numerologists don't even talk about. I've never understood why, but it's a big influence, and it really, really helps to nail down how you're going to go through your personal year. Okay, so as I said earlier, the personal year begins January 1st, ends December 31st. Your essence begins on your birthday and will usually end the day before your next birthday. Okay, but it is possible for an essence to repeat itself up to 9 times. It will always go for a minimum of at least 1 year. So when I'm looking at your chart, as I'm doing a numerology reading for you, one of the first things I'm going to look at is what's your personal year and what is the influence of the essence. Okay, so for example, if you and I are both in a year of 8 at the same time, an 8 is an 8 is an 8, right? The 8 life path, or probably the 8 personal year is going to roll out very similarly for you as it will for me, because it's a vibration, it's an energy, it's predictable, right? But your birth name on your certificate, on your birth certificate, is going to be different than mine, and that's going to create what's called an essence. So I want you to think of all those 9 years, the 9 personal years, as black and white templates, right? So all the way through 1 to 9, they're each an independent black and white template with a very predictable theme to it. So how do I know how you're going to go through it differently than I'm going to go through it? I have to look at your birth name on your birth certificate. That's going to create the color that we're now going to throw against your black and white template to bring it to life so that I can read it personally for you. So let's say we're both in a personal year of 8, but you have a 9 essence, okay? And I have a 1 essence. Well, if I was looking at that, I'd say, okay, the 8 essence is about your money. It's about your power and your authority. It's about learning that you're always in a position to teach people how to treat you. It's about setting healthy boundaries and such. But you've got that 9 essence there, an 8 personal year with a 9 essence. The 9 essence is implying there's endings. So that might be that there's an ending to the way in which you earn your money. It might be an ending to the way you've allowed people to treat you. You're not going to be anybody's doormat anymore. That's going to end, because remember, the 9 essence is about the endings. All right. Now, when you look at mine, I'm in this 8 personal year with a 1 essence. That's a pretty sweet lineup if you're looking to really push forward in maybe your own personal business or something, because the 8 is about manifestation. It is about your money, your personal power, your authority and such, but the 1 is all about newness, okay? So yours was the 9, which is sort of about the endings and tidying things up related to your money, your power, and your authority, whereas the mine, being the 1 essence in the 8 personal year, relates to new beginnings, new growth. Okay, so it really helps to dial down what's going on, and it's really, really important that we take a look at that. So that's one of the things I do feature when I'm looking at your charts, is to see exactly where you are. I'll also be looking at that life path period and the long-term cycles, because those really give us a good indication as to what's the theme moving forward. I see a lot of people who are in a theme of 7, for example. Maybe it's a 7 life path period. This is an extended period of time. That means that they're in a time of personal growth, and they're maybe they don't feel so much about connecting with others. They want to be a little bit more introspective and reflective. So it stands to reason why all of a sudden you're like, oh, I don't want to spend time with these people. It's not that there's necessarily anything wrong with those people. It's just a time for you to go within. Okay. Whereas I might be in a life path period of 4, which is all about slow and steady wins the race, practical planning, discipline, focus, and such. So it's really is very telling when we start looking at it. It's a code. The whole thing's a code. Your whole soul's contract is mapped out on your numerology chart, and it's a code that can be cracked. And I'd love to help you to crack yours. So here's an example of a future forecast, right? So Adam's in a 1 personal year with a 2 essence. So what does that even mean? So the 1 personal year is speaking of new beginnings, new opportunities. And when I see a 2 essence involved, that could indicate involvement in a new relationship. All right, the 1 is about the new, the 2 is about the partnership. When we're looking at Susan, she's in a 9 personal year with a 5 essence. The 9 speaks of endings, tidying things up, releasing, letting go and such. And the 5 brings in the unexpected. So when I see a 9 and a 5 lining up, I'm like, get ready for it. There's an unexpected ending coming. Now that could be a good thing. That could be a very good thing. It could be a job that you're really not happy with. It has to end to make room for the next job. It could be a relationship that you just don't know how to break it off. It's really, miserable, and you just don't have the guts to do it. But unexpectedly, your partner comes up to you and says, we're done. And you're like, woohoo! That's a possibility too. Mary, who's in a 4 personal year with an 8 essence, the 4 personal year speaks to attention to detail. It's about work. It's about building a foundation. And the 8 implies a theme around their money. Okay. Or again, it's not necessarily about the money. It could be about where they see themselves, their relationship to money. Finally saying, guess what, guys? I'm not working for this anymore. I need to work for this. You're going to set a boundary and say, that's it. This is what I'm worth. Therefore, this is what you'll pay me. Or I'm moving on. Okay. Lots of different ways that we can interpret it. But you can see that it's very important to measure the essence against the personal year to get a really, really clear picture. All right. That's it for today. I want to keep this one short and sweet. Where can you learn more? Well, you can check out my resource page on my website, Ann Perry Numerologist. I can't even say it today. AnnPerryNumerologist.com. Check it out. Okay, there's my resource page there. You can check out my YouTube channel, of course. I have a professional Facebook page that you can check out. All kinds of good information on there. And I also have my online community, the Clarity Seekers community. That's where all the cool kids hang out, right? So we're having a blast in there. Check it out. Any questions? You know where I am. Reach out anytime. Thanks so much, guys. See you in the next video. Bye for now.